Here's Brody Brazil.
You know, I never had the opportunity to meet Vin Scully, certainly know enough people that knew him, you know, as a person, as a friend, as a colleague, and all of the reviews right now and all the glowing things, they're not just coming now because, you know, somebody passes and you only want to say nice things. They've always said nice things about Vin Scully when he was alive, when he was perfectly healthy. And I think, you know, it's the ultimate testament when people start describing you like they do Vin, and then they say, but you know him as a baseball guy, but let me tell you about Vin as a person. And that's the part that hits me, because first off, it's not easy to be a good person to so many people. Everybody knows him. Everybody thinks they know Vin Scully. They've been listening to him for years. And so when you meet him, right, you're like, hey, I know you, but Vin doesn't know you. That's a tough situation for him to be in. But to be as overwhelmingly nice and courteous and gracious as it always seemed like he was, I think that's the biggest compliment you can give somebody. And also just, you know, laying a foundation for broadcasters across the board. The tone, the delivery, the stories he could share on a broadcast, the way he did it, the fact that he worked all by himself calling games. I mean, it's crazy. Nobody does that. Like, there's always an analyst. There's always an expert sitting right beside you that played the game that you lean on for a story or a break or a breather. But there's Vin Scully, just start to finish, and simulcasted. Vin was literally calling games so that his description, his accounts would be played on TV and radio. Nobody does that. Nobody's ever tried that. It's extremely difficult to be, you know, they say be good at TV or be good on the radio. He was doing both at the same time, all by himself. So to do it for 67 years, and I think he called 28 World Series. His first was at 25 years old. Dude called a World Series at 25. I was hosting a high school sports show, a local television high school sports show at age 25, which, trust me, was way ahead of a lot of my peers in the broadcast industry. Like, that was a good job back then. But he was calling a World Series. So, you know, I'm just really sad that I'm happy that he lived, you know, basically into his mid-90s almost, and got to live a full life, and his career started in Brooklyn. He came out west with the Dodgers, and, you know, Hall of Famer and all this stuff. But I just think it's sad when we all realize that it's the end of an era, it's the end of a chapter, and not that he was working or not that he was really active in recent months and years anyway, but it's the fact that you know that it'll never be a thing again. You can never get anything new. All you can do is kind of go back onto the archives. And I think when you look at his work, like I said, he was just such a foundation for broadcasters. Taking a nice, slow approach and making you feel comfortable. You know, and I'm doing a terrible job. Imitation, by the way, here is the highest form of flattery. And just having something that was comfortable. It was like putting on a sweater on a cold night, you know? It's like, oh, all right. And trust me, I'm saying this, I'm never really been a Dodger fan. But he was more than, you know, his team was the Dodgers. That was his main gig, but he was a national baseball voice. Always dressed so sharp too, like really a showman, a true showman. And they don't make them like that anymore. And I think that's always going to be his legacy, is that it lives on. Like what he established, how he did it, it's been copied for decades, and it's still going to be present, you know, with many others down the road.